Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we met some researchers in Charlian who, in the Ethereal Sea, had discovered a ancient memory crystal, similar to the ones that we found in the recreated Amarat, and the Azim crystal that we actually carry. So, upon kind of investigating the crystal, we found that it mentioned something about pandemonium and a threat. So we headed back to the ancient past and literally ran into a young man by the name of Themis, who is or will be Elidibus. And he let us know that he's coming to investigate pandemonium because something strange is going on with it, and that Pandemonium is a research facility for containing and researching creations that are deemed too dangerous to let loose, but still valuable, potentially. So, upon arriving in Pandemonium, we found out that the containment wards that keep everything here are weakening, and then we were almost immediately accosted by one of the panicked warders who transformed and attacked us. Asphodelos over here. So, once we kind of knocked some sense back into him, he told us what's going on, or at least as far as he knows. All the creations are loose. And the other warders need to be rescued. So basically, the place is in chaos at the moment. So, our goal is going to be to recapture the loose creations and find and rescue the other warders to reestablish order here in Pandemonium. So, that is our plan. Alright, so let's talk to Themis first. It seems our investigation will be quite the ordeal after all. Still, I find it hard to believe that Brea knows naught of what has transpired here. Whoever the mastermind of this crisis is, they do not lack for power and cunning. Yes, because basically this place is run by the words of Brea. Brea is basically in charge. So, let's see what we learn about that. All right, Eric. Eric Thonios is peering into the depths of Pandemonium. Not a sound can be heard from within, which means neither creature nor warder has made it this far. We should begin forming a plan to save them at once. Forgive me if I misunderstand, but do you mean to rescue the warders and the creations both? Naturally. Though they may be dangerous, they're valuable research subjects. I wouldn't see our labor, our untold hours of study, go to waste. I dare say Brea would smile to hear you say such a thing. That is, if we had cause to report this incident to him. Smile. I'm not sure his face is capable of such warmth. So you have met him before. I was under the impression he rarely visited Pandemonium. I have, yes. My mentor was the previous head of this facility. That is to say, Brea's predecessor in the position of Chief Key Ward. Her name was Athena, and she was a researcher with the words. 'Twas she who appointed me to this position, in fact. I see. I did not know there was a Chief Key Ward before Brea. Your motivation to save your research subjects is not entirely driven by duty to the words, then. You also wish to preserve the work of your mentor. You have the right of it. I'm lacking in ideas of how to go about that, however. I'm a mere warder and cannot wield interment magics. But of course, I can hardly expect you to be versed in the magics we use here. If you recall, during our battle earlier, I bound you in ethereal shackles. Interment is more refined and powerful magic based upon the same principles. While both are used to keep our subjects docile, only the keyword of each tier is permitted to use interment. Even if I were allowed, I lack the aptitude to use the spell to any notable effect. Fascinating. I have some knowledge of these forms of spellcraft, actually. Lahabrea himself established their foundation, if I recall. While shackles are meant to bind an object in place for a short time, interment freezes the very space around it for as long as the caster wills. Indeed. While the illusory beings you summoned in our fight suggested as much, I see your knowledge of magic is vast. Perhaps you've already mastered the art of interment, and I've been lecturing you like a child all this time. I'm afraid my knowledge ends there. I have not the precise understanding of how the invocations interact with natural laws that would be needed to cast said spells with any consistency. While I consider myself well versed in various magics, I would be ill-advised to assume the duties of keyword without instruction. That being said, if I were to learn more of interment and its inner workings, perhaps. Well, you do have a warder standing right in front of you. Well, the solution is obvious when you put it like that. Asphodelos, you implied that what prevented you from performing interment was the lack of magical capacity. What if I supplemented your power with my own? Would the spell succeed then? I can't say for certain. I've never heard of such a thing but being done. I believe it may be our best recourse. That is, of course, assuming you can perform the initial rites and incantations flawlessly. Even the smallest misstep and we would have to start over. You needn't worry about that. I've seen the spells cast so many times that their emotions have been burned into my memory. I won't disappoint. Very well. Let us work out the specifics afterwards. Once we do, we can test our methods on one of the escaped creatures, though I suppose there is the matter of finding one. It would be foolish to rush in blindly, lest we find ourselves surrounded with naught but an untested stratagem at our disposal. They would prefer to engage a single creature that Ayame could dispatch on her own if the spell were to go awry. I agree. And I have an idea in that regard. I recall seeing the hippocampus wandering the waterways during my fight. Or my flight. Perhaps it's still there. You, the subjects housed within Asphodelos, are fond of water, and I believe we'll be able to engage the beast without fear of unwanted guests. And that shall be our first target. Or perhaps subject is a better term. Before we commence with the interment magics, the creature should be weakened to a sufficient degree. I believe I can trust you with the task. As dependable as ever. Once you have given it a thorough trouncing, we shall bind this hippocampus with the keyword's magic. Until then, my illusions shall fight by your side. The hippocampus will be alone, but it's a daunting opponent nonetheless. Its magic warps the environment around it, and it will be at home amidst the waterways. Steel yourself for a fight. Shouldn't be an issue. Maybe. Alright. Second circle is now accessible. Alright. Well. Anything to add? Athena ever drove home the fact that our subjects should be treated with the utmost care. It would be best if we could see them confined once again, rather than disposed of like beasts gone feral. I take it we are each ready to fulfill our respective roles. Truth be told, this will be the first time I have practiced magic that requires such a degree of cooperation between parties. How thrilling. Alright. Well, let's, you in. And I will pause here and wait till we're ready. And there it is. There's our target. And let's see what group of misfits we get. Nothing too crazy. Nobody dressed in a giant chicken suit. All right, here we go. Now, obviously, the floor is going to have some significance. Oop, oop. Don't want to be in front of it. Oh, I screwed that one up. And I ate it. Yes, that's what happens when you are looking at chat instead of paying attention to the boss. Alright, now all the grading is going to be safe. Okay, they're going that way. Alright, now this one, you just gotta stack with at least one other person. Knock back. Either use your knockback immunity or just get knocked back in a direction that won't put you in the water. Okay, stay away from the side with the head. And we got a bunch of people who are not. Linear stack, okay. Okay. His head and body are gonna split again. Or no, it's not. It's gonna do the floor thing again. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, we're fine, we're fine. Almost noticed his error is a little too late. Alright, I'll stay here. Ooh. Couple people got caught a little bit there. I'm gonna split off here. Uh-oh. Its head split off over there. Knocked back. Alright, its head is separated again. Stack, stack, stack. There's a lot of raid-wide AoE in here. No, I'm moving. I'm moving. Oh. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, we're fine, we're fine. Oh, I'm gonna stay, back off. Stack. Oh. Alright, knock back. Uh-oh, I'm on the wrong side. Alright, that's the tank stack. Why didn't we let the, Oh. Me and the other person moved in the same direction at the same time. That didn't work. Well, it's split second, so... Oh, I'm gonna eat it there. Snack up, snack up. Oh, we are down most of the DPS. Unfortunately, someone used our level 3 limit break, so we don't have a healer limit break. We're almost there, though. There we go, we got it. All right, caught it. All right, so I'll just give this to somebody, and we're gonna roll on loot. I can use just about anything. Excellent. Get out of here. Alright, that went well. A little while since I've actually fought that boss, so I got a little sloppy, but it's alright. Alright, Themis. That was a trial by fire, or water, I suppose, but I had faith that we would see it through, as long as we had your stout arm, of course. Alright, Eric. I knew that you were no mere mercenary, but to make such a clean work of the hippocampus, seasoned fighters scarcely have occasion to visit Pandemonium, let alone display their skills. Mastery takes all forms, indeed. Needless to say, our plan worked to perfection, in no small part thanks to you two. Themis' power was more than enough to complete the interment. Spellcasting was never my strong suit, but that almost made me feel like a proper magos. Truly, having seen your abilities firsthand in your fight with Ayame, I beg to disagree. Shackles is the one exception, and 'tis only because I've been forced to practice it since I was but a small child. Other magics leave me feeling completely out of my depth. Regardless, it seems luck is on my side to guide me to you. May we prove the impossible possible after all. Alright, we want crit hit. Alright. Eric? After witnessing the hippocampus's capabilities, I should not blame you for wishing to avoid engaging any further creations in the place of their choosing. Alas, I doubt we will have the luxury. Alright. Next. While our success in sealing away the hippocampus is certainly heartening, the fact that we have yet to see any other warders concerns me. The key ward of Asphodelos is nothing if not cautious. Doubtless he has gathered what warders he could and retreated to a safe area. Let us hope so. It occurs to me that I know little of the key wards despite their magical prowess. Is there aught more you can share? Of course. A man named Hesperos is in charge of Asphodelos. Not only does he have thorough knowledge of the creatures here, but he takes great pains to be a mentor to each of the warders under his charge. He has done much to ensure that I flourished here in spite of my ineptitude at magic, and I have always known him to be the sort of man who faces difficult decisions with unwavering composure. Furthermore, key wards are not only masters of interment, they can also bend the hallways of Pandemonium to their will with creation magics. With all this in mind, I'm certain that so long as Hesperos guides them, the other warders are safe. I can see why absolute control over the environs is imperative. If we faced the hippocampus upon the arid sands instead of the waterways, I suspect the battle would have ended much more quickly. In any case, if this Hesperos is as capable and caring as you say, we would do well to seek him out as soon as we can. He has, like as not, taken your colleagues to a secure location. The safest place would be the innermost circle of Asphodelos. From there, they could flee to Abyssos if hard-pressed. Even should they have sought safe haven within the other circles, if we make for the fourth, we ought to encounter them on the way. Indeed, and we shall gain a comprehensive understanding of the situation within Asphodelos, which will be essential in determining whether we ought to continue down to Abyssos. The rub, of course, is that I myself possess no power to bend the circles to my will. Instead, we must proceed through the central corridor, which was barred by the Phoenix, last I checked. Or Phoenix, actually. I have heard the name before, a fiery bird with life eternal. Beyond unquenchable brilliance, the perfected concept boasts nigh boundless restorative powers, if I recall. Truly an exemplary feat of creation magics. Perfection is ever built on the back of failure, however, and La Habrea suffered countless missteps during his experiments. And he was hardly the only one. This Phoenix will be but one of many attempts at the concept gone awry. Aye. Far from evoking wonder, our phoenix is a creature of fury and wrath, and seeks only to turn the world to ash, thus it was confined within pandemonium. Development of the concept continued elsewhere, but as the moons turned, more and more researchers abandoned the project as an impossibility, save for La Habrea and his words. When I received word that, at long last, La Habrea had succeeded where so many others had failed, I was nearly overcome. Pray tell, how did the Warders of Pandemonium celebrate their master's accomplishment? I don't believe we did. Excuse me. The research of the words of La Habrea has little consequence to our work here, save for the rare times it charges us with a new specimen. Truth be told, I don't remember anyone making note of the occasion. But enough reminiscing. We must make ready to confront the Phoenix. While it's possible that it flew off to some other wing of Pandemonium, we would make that assumption at our own peril. Better to assume that we'll need to bring Asphodelos' most unruly subject to heel. I certainly see no reason to delay. The Phoenix's power over flame will avail it far less in a barren corridor than elsewhere, so it may well serve us to subdue it sooner rather than later. Alright, let's get to it. Something going on? That appears to be our target. Oh, hello there. What? And we're out. It seems whoever is behind this can alter the space around us at will. We face an uphill battle. Impossible. If those were creation magics at work, then that means... Let us confront that reality after we have conquered the enemy in front of us. Every drop of our focus shall be required if we are to inter the Phoenix. Alright, third circle. Yeah, looks like we got plenty of time. So, let's go ahead. Oh, actually, let's talk to them first. Fight well, friend. Okay. And Themis. We shall gain naught from allowing the large implications of this to distract us from the fight ahead. The Phoenix's rages will be unbridled. I trust you are prepared for the worst. Sure thing. Alright, third circle. And again, same deal. I'll be back when it's ready. Alright, we are ready to go. Let's go. Assuming, of course, the healer hits the button. And they didn't. Alright, well, false alarm. Alright, let's try again. There we go. Alright. Here we go. Actually, I'm going to turn my effects down here a little bit. I have a macro for that. Alright. I'm going to eat that. That's why I need those effects turned down so I can... There's an effect on the boss that you can see. There we go. Get out of the center. Alright, now those people need to make sure their AoEs hit the fire. And they didn't. Or no, they did. Never mind. Alright, now get out from in front of it. Okay, now each tank needs to take one of those, and then we need to kill them individually. They need to split them up. And actually, you want to stand in the green. I believe. Alright, next set. Alright. Now these are going to do AoEs in a specific order. There we go. Alright, got flames coming in from the sides. Alright, get out of the middle. Alright. Here comes the sequential AoEs again. Oh, right, okay. Okay, they need to make sure that their AoEs hit the flames. Left wing. Ah, missed it. Okay, stay in the center. And I'm going to follow these AoEs and then work my way out. Of course, he does that right as I burn my cooldown. Oh well. Alright, there we go. Got it. Alright. Accommodation. Whatever is still left. And I think that I can just lead on everything. That the Phoenix is shackled once more. However, there is yet the matter of this arena. As you've told us, there is but one person in Asphodelos with the ability and authority to wield such magics. Though, fortunately, it appears he has saved us the trouble of finding him. A contemptible display, as befits an inferior specimen. Even so, I expected it would at least delay your advance. Imagine my surprise when I saw the chains of interment drag the Phoenix back to its cage. Either the bird is even more of a failure than its creators cared to admit, or you are no mean trespassers. Ready to go. I'd hoped our suspicions were misplaced, but alas. Keyword Hesperos. Why? Why have you brought such chaos to your beloved Pandemonium? Pandemonium, pitiless, impenetrable, and utterly steadfast, unlike those charged with its keeping. What has possessed you? I don't understand. Oh, Ericthonios. You must pester me, must you pester me with these inane questions? Think for yourself. Surely you can muster a theory or two with that dim wit of yours. Then again, you never have it one for insight. Why Master Lahabrea suffers your mediocrity, I shall never understand. You may look like him, but you're not the Hesperos I know. Something has warped you, too, from the inside out. The keyword I knew had compassion for all those under his charge, be they clad in robes or shackled in chains. Was all that a farce? Did you hide your contempt for us all these years? Those who are content to merely glimpse the water's surface are doomed to be dragged into its depths. You prove my opinion and view with every word. My mind is clearer than it has ever been. Even now, seeing you feebly grasp for answers makes the bile rise in my throat. Such wasted potential. To be son to Master Lahabrea, yet no more skilled with magic than a newborn babe. Ah. But of course, it was always about Lahabrea. Silence. You're not worthy to utter his name. For once, be grateful to witness a feat beyond your meager abilities, beyond your shallow reckoning. I have slipped the surly bonds of mortality. I become one with our mythic creations and rid myself of imperfections. I stand upon the threshold of godhood. Oh, that's familiar. As Hemetheos, I shall serve Master Lahabrea, ever faithful unto the end of days. And he shall require no other. I think not. Are you so blinded by arrogance that you have lost sight of what it means to serve? Erechthonios is more capable than you could ever know. It was thanks to his instruction that I was able to master the art of interment, both how to wield it and how to break free of it. Yame, let us quit this place. Whatever poison has corrupted Hesperos' mind is plain. It is plain his power far eclipses our own. We must have time to gather our strength. And we're out. Weaklings though they may be, it takes a singular aptitude to master interment so quickly, to say nothing of how swiftly that familiar laid low the Phoenix. Regardless, their noble aims will be their undoing. Where they fritter away their strength in calming the beasts of Asphodelos, I continue my work. Even should they survive long enough to reach the heart of my domain, naught shall wait them but doom. I eagerly await your arrival, Erechthonios. Even dullards have their uses. All right. My darkest suspicions have been realized. We face the keyword of Asphodelos himself. More than that revelation, however, Erechthonios worries me. He loved Hesperos for his compassion, but received naught but scorn from whatever the keyword has become. He has said little since our return. I only hope that the shock of recent events does not prove to be a death knell for his resolve. Alright. Grab that critical hit. Okay, so I decided to go ahead and make this a bit of a longer episode. And we'll just go ahead and push on to the next and final stage of Asphodelos. So, Themis. Much as I am loath to disturb Erechthonios so soon after what just occurred, I am afraid circumstances do not afford us the luxury of time. Perhaps it will do him well to speak about recent events concerning both the keyboard and his father. Yep, so he is Lahabrea's son. Alright, Eric. The creation of the ward which surrounds Pandemonium was an astounding feat of magical prowess, a feat accomplished by none other than Lahabrea. Both my father and I can bind others in change is perhaps the only thing that we have in common. Ah, so it is true. I'm Lahabrea's son, bereft of his talent for magics or his brilliant mind, but his son nonetheless. Surely this doesn't come entirely as a surprise to you. Nay, I had an inkling when you said you had practiced ethereal shackles since childhood. Assuming you haven't been employed here quite that long, I had to... it had to indicate some long-held connection with Lahabrea. It was Lahabrea that taught me how to cast ethereal shackles, but that was it. My further education was overseen by the words of Lahabrea, more specifically my mother, who was a researcher there. You did speak of Athena, chief keyword before La Habrea. She is your mother, yes? How astute. I can see now why you were chosen to lead this investigation. You're the right of it. Athena was my mother, and it was she who invited me to join her here. La Habrea had nothing to do with it. I see there is little love lost between you two. What I cannot see is why La Habrea was appointed chief keyword when another was already in place. Was in place. My mother is no longer with us. And La Habrea was all too eager to assume her responsibilities, with nary a moment spared to mourn her. What love do I owe him now when he offered not one drop of compassion then? Ah, I see. She is no longer with us, an expression to convey the end of a life. I've known only the public face of La Habrea. While he is lauded for his ability to maintain composure in the face of unnerving circumstances, I must admit that oft he has come across as cold. Apologies, but can we speak of something else? This topic isn't an easy one for me to discuss. Of course, there are more pressing matters at hand after all, namely how to deal with Asphodelos. We have yet to see the other warders. Judging by what we know, we can surmise that Asphodelos has confined them somewhere beyond our grasp. And now that he is aware of our presence, he will be preparing for our next encounter. We cannot expect to face him on equal footing, quite the opposite in fact. Every moment we spend chasing after the creations is another moment Asphodelos can contrive another advantage for himself. The wisest course would be to find him first and foremost. Yep, go straight for the head. He said that he has become one with the creations. Perhaps that means he is vulnerable to interment? In theory, that should be possible. However, it is... is it enough merely to confine him after all he has done? I need to know why. I need to know what drove him to forsake everything he's worked for. Was it all truly that he could serve his master? To my mind, he's merely put La Habrea's own work at risk in trade for some nebulous power. La Habrea is the chief keyword of Pandemonium. How would throwing it into disarray win his favor? It doesn't make any sense. I share your curiosity, but we must consider that our enemy has us at a disadvantage in every sense. What do you think? Should we seek to put him in fetters, or would it be too dangerous to allow him quarter? Yeah, it'd be good to get answers from him, if possible. Daring as ever, I see. I know not which trials you have faced in your past. We could tell you about that. But to see you so certain is all the convincing I need. Very well, let us try Asphodelos' plan. Thank you, Ayame. I believe I can shed some light on the nature of our foe. When Asphodelos spoke with us, I noticed he bore the telltale fangs of the Vircolakas, a beast which feeds off the ether of its prey. Likely that is the creation Asphodelos merged his essence with. And we know all too well that he can change the environment around himself at will. The battle will not be an easy one, but I believe in our victory. All right, fourth circle. Let's go. All right. And while we're waiting, I'm going to do a little bit of speculating here. Because we pretty much... Oh, never mind. We'll do that afterwards. It took like 20 minutes for the last one to pop. That took all of like 30 seconds. All right. Let's get to business. Now, don't touch the spiky edge. Now that is going to be a proximity AoE originating from the center, so you want to get as far away from the center as possible. Now that is going to be a knockback initiating from the center, so you want to get close to the center but be knocked back in a way where you're not going to end up in the wall. Alright, now we're going to get 3 of these in sequence. Alright, knockback first. Or not knockback, proximity AoE first. Of course I went the opposite direction as everybody else. Alright, that is just going to be little AoEs on each person. And the last one's going to be the knockback. Alright, now you need to stand in one of these that basically is not whatever role that's displayed. So I was in the not tank. Alright, that's going to be a wide cone AoE emanating from that point. That's going to be a knockback emanating from that point. Cone AoE. Okay, now be tethered to one of these, and you need to knock one out that does not match your roll. So eat that one. Come on, people. Alright, now we're gonna get 4. This stuff is gonna start overlapping here, so... Alright, this is gonna be a stack. Get away from his front, knock back. Spread out. But then we also have to get into those circles. And then get away from the center. Knock back from that point. I'm hitting it. Here we go. Could be worse. And he is down. All right. We'll throw this at someone. And then we'll roll on loot. What do I actually need? Everything, it would seem. Okay. And of course... Hey, I got the minion. With an 88 roll, that's unusual. Usually somebody rolls in the 90s. Now, Themis, we end this here. Fools, I will not be put in chains. To think that I would fall before one such as you. Perhaps I should have treated you as more than a mere nuisance. Despite your victory, you shall never have the knowledge you seek. The secrets of my transformation, the secrets of my deception, they shall return to the star with me. You're wasting your breath, Asphodelos. We have the upper hand now. Surely you can see that. Yes, my repertoire is not exhausted yet, however. Although I have failed, my end shall be on my terms. I remain loyal to my very last. Come what may, I die with dignity. Well, we're not going to get anything out of him. How did your ambition lead you so astray, Asphodelos? You were better than that. Your star shone more brightly than any other in Pandemonium. You had Lahabrea's respect, his trust. What more did you seek? That you would forsake all that and sully your legacy besides. Became so blinded by his own desires that he lost sight of his duty. In the end, he lost everything, and his plans lie in tatters. I fail to see any dignity in that. Even so, I would have liked to know why he chose this path. Asphodelos' infatuation with your father was his undoing. Perhaps he was jealous that fate had chosen you and not him to be Lahabrea's son. So terrible did this jealousy become that he sought verboten power, power that Lahabrea would be unable to ignore. How does a pursuit for respect warp one's heart so? How does infatuation with one person turn into contempt for everyone else? Never heard of such a thing. It's not as uncommon as you might think. You see, I admit I cannot but find it vexing. Perhaps that signifies naught but my own capacity for bitterness. I do understand what it is to have a beacon to follow in dark times, a person you trust to guide you true. How it is to desperately wish their light would fall upon you again. But we have spent enough time assuming the intentions of the departed. There are the living to consider. We must find the other warders and round up the remaining creations forthwith. Of that, at least, we can be certain. I believe I can help in that matter. The influence of Asphodelos' magic is fading throughout Asphodelos. Now is the perfect opportunity to seize control of the facilities and restore things to their original state. Seize control? Can you really do that? What? What is this presence? Erchthonios, what lies beyond that threshold? That is a passage which connects Asphodelos to Abyssos. Why? Be on your guard, you two. Now that Asphodelos is free of obstructions, I can more easily sense disturbances in the lower levels. Something stirs in Abyssos. Oh, that looks ominous. A warding sigil? How? Let us return to the gates for now. I should like to appraise the situation from there. Needless to say, our investigation is far from over. Alright, Eric. Just when I had thought our work to be done, did this tragedy unfold all throughout Pandemonium? Although we have defeated Hesperos, it appears we have but scratched the surface of Pandemonium's troubles. My head is still swimming with the questions, but could this mean that Hesperos wasn't actually behind this? He's a minion. There's a stark possibility, yes. The root of this crisis may lie somewhere much deeper than even Abyssos. When we first encountered you, you said the memories of your escape were vague and that your senses were muddled. I believe this was more than the result of a panicked mind. You are made to feel this way by a powerful magical influence. It's possible that the same magic could have poisoned Hesperos' heart, twisting his affection for La Habrea into a burning obsession. Then, in his altered state, he was made an offer of power he could not refuse. Wait, are you suggesting that someone else turned Hesperos into that thing? If so, it stands to reason that they wouldn't stop at him. Indeed, our mysterious mastermind does not lack for subjects for his experiments, or more potential hemitheoi. And that's what you're saying. If what you're saying is true, then my colleagues, they're doomed to share the same fate as Hesperos. Not lose heart yet, Ericthonios. Hesperos challenged us alone. And that tells me that the process of his creation was a long and taxing one. If he was the first Hemitheos, then the rest of the warders are likely still alive. However, much as I would like to hasten deeper into Pandemonium, the way forward is sealed off. Let's focus our efforts on finding a way through. With the creation still having free reign of Asphodelos, that won't be easy. On the contrary, I yet retain control of these circles, and can thus wield interment magic within their halls at will. The creatures will pose no threat to us. Just like that, then there's nothing stopping us from returning order to Asphodelos. Just so, I shall require expertise to keep the peace after the subjects have been returned to their confinement. However, you are Asphodelos' sole remaining warder, after all. Truth be told, I did not expect this investigation to become so involved. Of course, I would like to resolve matters here without resorting to outside help, but... Do you mean to send a report to La Habrea? Tis too soon to say. Let's find a way into Abyssos. It would be best to withhold our judgment until we have ascertained the whereabouts of the other warders, and the identity of the party responsible for their disappearance. Even so, agreed. Even so, if it means saving even a single life within Pandemonium, then I'm not above asking La Habrea for help, should it come to that. Recent discoveries certainly paint Hesperos' actions in a new light. The number of unknown elements in this investigation grows, and we must proceed forward with the utmost caution. To that end, Ericthonios and I shall remain here for the time being. Much as I enjoy your company, I do not believe we shall be needing protection so long as we remain in Asphodelos. You should take this time to rest. Surely you are weary, and there may be more battles ahead of us. Themis' burden may grow heavier when you're in your absence, but he's shown that he's more than capable to bear it. Still, I would help wheresoever I'm able. All we've achieved so far has been thanks to you two, and I mean to repay the debt I owe. I don't know what use I can be outside of placating the creatures, but I'll find a way. Nonsense. You owe us nothing. It was thanks to your knowledge of the magics which govern this place we were able to come this far. Elsewise, we would have likely succumbed to the Hippocampus' assault. Each of us has arrived in this dire pass by separate ways, but it is only by combining our respective expertise that we will reach the end of it and see Pandemonium saved. Thank you, Themis. Hesperos' words seem to have affected me more than I realized. Together we have come this far, and together we'll reach the end. No doubt we will. Even so, let us allow Ayame her rest. Besides, you have someone waiting to report on your progress, yes? I dare say your story will be much more than they ever imagined. Yep. Let's see. So you don't serve the convocation. I suppose I needn't worry about you going behind our backs to curry favor with La Habrea. Nope. My friend would be very curious to hear what has occurred here. However, I fear that if I left Pandemonium, the wards protecting it would quickly deteriorate. I hope she does not mind assuming some of my duties in the meantime. I don't think she will. Alright, so we're heading back to Aporia. All right, Claudian. Welcome, Ayame. Back from the past, none the worse for wear, I see. So what did you find? Give him the rundown. There is evil afoot in Pandemonium, an already ominous place, I must say. Mythic beasts and missing warders. Truly, we are fortunate to see you return to us in one piece. It appears the voice Ayame heard from the crystal spoke the truth. As for who left it behind and why, those are yet questions to be answered. Indeed, it could be someone who lived among the ancients, or it could be someone trying to avert a tragedy from the future. Much remains shrouded in mystery. Yet, ilm by ilm, we shall unveil this mystery, with the help of Ayame, of course. By her actions was the fabric of the past reshaped, yet she returns to the same present she left. Which can only mean one thing, that her intervention in Pandemonium's crisis is but one of the countless building blocks of history upon which our present has been built. Yes, we've already actually done everything that we are currently doing. Time travel. There's no telling what consequences would arise if we stop pursuing this matter now. Whatever plot is unraveling within Pandemonium, we must not let it reach its conclusion. If one of those creatures should escape, what ripples would carry forth into the future? They might wreak havoc upon the world of the ancients, and the despair would leave an indelible mark upon history's pages. That despair would only feed the terrible beast that arose during the final days. The first final days already had a drastic effect on the eons that followed. If the scars it left were made even deeper, then we risk losing our present entirely. Whatever the cost, our connection with the future of Alpus must be preserved. I know I have asked much of you already, but can I count on you to continue your work in Pandemonium? Of course. Your tireless efforts are much appreciated. If there is aught we can do to ease your burden, you need only say the word. Speaking of which, might you return the crystal into our keeping? While we cannot accompany you into the past, perhaps something can be gained by researching it further. Sure. Shines just as splendidly as the day we met. We shall begin work right away, but I cannot promise any meaningful results for some time, and as matters in Alpus seem to be in a similar state, I must ask that you rest. But before that, allow me to make an introduction. As our research moves into its critical stage, I found it only suitable to recruit another assistant. Maleni is an expert in armaments from throughout history, be they from the far-flung past or made in the most modern forges. Should you find aught of interest in your adventures, bring it here and she will be glad to offer her services. We know researchers in numerous fields that would love to get their hands on artifacts from bygone eras and would give you goods in return that should aid you in the trials ahead. Yes, that's our gear vendor. Furthermore, if you ever wish to peruse the records of events you have reported here, Nim Gigi has been taking faithful and thorough notes. She is at your complete disposal. I sense that we have embarked upon something monumental, something that will dwarf all else I have accomplished in my many years of research. I can think of no greater honor nor reassurance than to have your capable assistance in this endeavor. If there is anything to be found that will contribute to your success, we shall find it. We shall not rest until we have unlocked the mysteries of this crystal, and you will be the first to know when we do. Alright. There we go. Skill speed, spell speed, tenacity, piety. We're gonna go with skill speed. Alright, and that and the MGG I think gives us the savage stuff, so. Which we're not doing savage. Alright. Now, the speculation I was talking about real quick. Is that we know that Eorzea is the son of Lahabrea and Athena. Now, if we look back at Greek mythology, which all of this is based on, Eorzea was the son of Athena and Hephaestus. So, Lahabrea, at least the Lahabrea that is sitting in the seat at the time that we are in Pandemonium, is likely Hephaestus. And I think the speculation is that it is probably actually Lahabrea, Hephaestus, that is responsible for what's going on, and that he is turning Pandemonium upside down in an attempt to resurrect his dead wife, Athena. That's my guess. Oh, my other speculation is that when we get to the end of all of this, is that we will likely have to face and defeat and most likely kill Lahabrea, Hephaestus. That will leave his seat open for Eorzea to become his successor. And that would mean that the Lahabrea that was on the convocation at the time of the final days was Eorzea. And that he then becomes the Lahabrea that we know and love from A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Word. So, we'll see. That's complete another speculation. I don't know. But that's where I think this is going. Alright. But I think we'll go ahead and stop the episode here because we're already longer than I'd like. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.